Hello, Saberland. Vader's Vault here, showcasing our latest custom saber from the vault. You'll notice right away from the unusual color scheme and design of this saber that it is not your typical lightsaber. Well, that's because it's not. This saber design comes from the video game universe, specifically the video game No More Heroes, where it is the protagonist Henry's Cross Saber. In the video game universe, they're not called lightsabers, they're called beam katanas. And most of the actual swords in the game have an extendable frame where there's the emitter on the hilt and a receiver on the extendable rod, which contains the beam of the sword. This saber design was one of the few, I guess, that did not have the extendable frame. It was able to contain its own beam. We've gotten probably, I don't know, somewhere around 100 requests for this saber in the last 2 years or so, and never really got around to actually getting somebody to commit to the design. But we did finally get somebody who was really adamant and really wanted this design made. Silmaro from the FX Sabers forum commissioned this from us, and he really wanted something as faithful to the original concept drawing as possible, but still be able to retain some functionality as a dueling saber or a costume piece, and really wanted it to be spectacular. So we took it on, and you'll notice right away that it is a very unusual design, being that it comes from an anime style concept art and video game cutscenes and whatnot. So it has the color scheme comes from the cell shaded graphics and art that you typically see in that style, being the green emitter and the white and black on the hilt. The emitter is one of the features on this saber that was actually quite interesting to me. One being that it's square, so that was something new for me, as we don't really typically get to do square shapes on these lightsabers. The other thing is that it had, in the concept art and in the video game, it had 4 stubby light beams that emitted from the side as sort of a cross guard. That doesn't really work in reality, so we made these custom bezels here that mount into each side of the emitter, and they contain some focusing lenses that help bring some of the light out from the blade to kind of shine out for a more decorative appearance. The hilt is done in a white powder coating, gloss white, with a few laid down silver bands to help break up some of the bleak look of the lower hilt. The middle band there is laid down, and then I've got a piece of industrial heat shrink put in there because the customer wanted a rubbery texture in that lathe band, and that was really the only thing that fit without making it too thick. So that worked out really well. It has a great feel to it. We've got the milled aluminum bar topping that off. One of the other design features of the saber on the concept art was the switch. It had like a weird rotary switch in the concept art. Couldn't really find anything that I liked that would have actually worked in reality, so we went with the recessed anti-vandal like we normally do. And in the concept art there were 2 dimples on the hilt, one red, one green, signifying off and on positions. So we decided to put a red aux switch where the red dimple goes, and we just put an actual green dimple in the same places in the render. And moving on to the pommel. Pommel I'm especially proud of. It's actually my third time's a charm on this pommel. I tried to get it as close to the render as possible. It came out really good, a lot of detailed machine work there. And crowning the pommel off is the black globe, or sphere. In the original concept art, it had these really dangerous looking fish hooks coming out the bottom. We don't really do fish hooks on sabers. Just looked like something that if you're swinging around it would catch you in the mouth or the eye or something. That's just not something we want to happen. Plus, our customer did want to retain some dual ability with the saber, as far as that goes, and fish hooks just didn't really fit in with that. Powering this saber is none other than the Plecter Labs Crystal Focus Sabercore version 4.31, igniting a LEDEngin RGBW, wired for Purplicious Purple, and with the green and white dice wired for the ultra bright, ultra white flash feature. let's get it powered on. That way you guys can see what this saber is all about. Sound fonts we've got in it are Mad Cow's Korriban, my request of the customer. We've got Res Blade from Novastar's Sound Compendium Volume 2. And we've got Rain Sizzle as well from the Sound Compendium Volume 2. Mad Cow's Bespin. And we've got Mad Cow's Vader. And we've got a silent font on here. I use Blackstar because I like the standard default config file for the lighting on it. Plus it's a cool font to have if he ever decides to unmute it, but he wanted a muted sound font so he could swing it around without having sound. So I left font number 6 muted. We've got the ultra bright Purplicious Purple blade, powered by that 10-watt LEDEngin RGBW. And they always look pink on camera, but rest assured it's a nice violet. Very bright, very pronounced clash. Comes to us via that white and green dice. Really lights up the room. Significant change in color. And you have the light shining out the sides there. Those lenses help bringing that out. Lighted green anti-vandal switch. Topping it off for the only blinky on the saber. It's a very closely original design in that respect. Hopefully your customer likes it. It was definitely a fun and challenging build. Look for it at your local cons. Thanks again from the vault.